Hi, my name is Coffee Rain. I am the author of the viral cryptid lesbian romance. You may have seen it going around when it was blowing up and it looked like this. Now, let me give you 3 reasons to stick around, and I will tell you you don't want to miss the 3rd one if you were an author, okay? And if you see me reading off of this little screen over here, don't mind me. I just have so much to say and I want to make sure that I can get to all of it before the video ends. So, number 1. I am a beginner author, so my journey therefore is going to be a little bit more relatable to you guys, namely anyone who has started their novel within the last couple of months or even the last year. It really hasn't even been a full year in my head since I really started getting serious about this, and I haven't been writing for the last 5 to 10 years like some of these really amazing authors, and it's just a little bit daunting, you know, to see that level of dedication and be like, am I even worthy of starting my book? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right, so 2, I'm going to share some things that I really wish I knew before I started even the outline of the draft for my novel. And 3, I am going to share with you guys my little secret of how I cut 100% of the editing costs for my 100K word manuscript. Okay, so let's get into it. Updates. Let's talk about my book. I don't know about you guys, but when I start a book, it actually starts with the characters and then the book kind of formulates around the idea for those characters. So when I initially had the idea for my book, which is called currently The Feminine Urge to Prey Upon You, it was just gonna be shock factor was mostly the inspiration for it. I just wanted a monster who was really a monster, and I'll go ahead and show you guys the picture that I have here. So as you can see, she's kind of freaky, right? It was just gonna be something that there was gonna be no one in my comments like would, you know? If S tier, hear me out, right? S tier, hear me out. And then there was Eleanor, you know? Eleanor, she could split the bill. Genuinely, I just wanted her character design to be looking like your great aunt Greta. If she was a muscle mommy. If she was in the gym, hitting the gym, eating the cake and leaving no crumbs. Yeah. She's 50, so single, living her best life, experienced queen. We love that for her, and they're lesbian, all right? So it's just like bam, 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 a sub niche of a sub niche of a sub niche. I really just wanted it to be something that no one's ever conceptualized before. No one's even thought about this being a possibility. Leading edge, right? So we also, I feel like we never have older characters in dark romances, so they're all like 18, but that's besides the point. Anyway, the real idea, if I'm getting kind of serious about this, was I just wanted to challenge myself to see how far I could really push this concept of something that is so surface level, horrifying to encounter, how ugly. How could I make readers really fall in love with the idea of this character and the relationship that eventually blooms between the two of them? How far could I push that envelope of human compassion? I ended up posting one TikTok video about it, and then I kind of put it aside. Because anyone who knows me in real life will also know that I am a complete alien enthusiast. I love ET related things and like learning about them, meeting them in real life. I actually have had a few alien encounters, and I was working very closely with this nonprofit called LightNet, and living with the founder at that time. So in the year of 2023, right? I'm doing all this stuff and I'm just really busy. And then we kind of go our separate ways because she wants her partner to move in with her and I want to move in with my partner. So now we've done that, and she's not like paying me anymore, but I am still kind of volunteering there. So it's still very much part of my life. But I just had a lot of downtime and I found Author Talk. I found all of these brilliant, like, you guys, seriously, round of applause to you. You inspired me so much. It was around Halloween, so October, and I just saw all of these gorgeous, amazing people posting about this book that they just read, this book that they just wrote. They're selling these things that they created. And I thought, why not? Why can't I do something like this? So, little known fact about me, I am a tried and true, proud veteran of AO3 and Wattpad. I am one of those girlies who is, sat one weekend and decided, oh yeah, 60,000 words, bam, what is stopping me? Why can't I create something of my own? And so, yeah, I started drafting that outline. And I looked at the budgets for editors. Yeah, that got me really depresso espresso. I think that's probably, if I had to guess, the number one gatekeeper that's keeping other authors from posting their books or writing their books or finishing their novels is just looking at the cost of all of these things and being like, oh my God, how could I ever afford this? I'm gonna have to take out loans or whatever. I don't know what people do, but yeah, so that got me depressed and I kind of just sat back. So I did end up finishing about 100K words of that novel, and that's when I started looking at costs, because I got it 3/4 of the way finished, and I looked at it and said, yeah, I'm not going to be able to pay for anything past this, I feel like. I don't know if that's going to be in my budget or in my ability to do. And editing is the one thing that I decided I would not be able to do by myself. I'm an artist. I can teach myself how to do the cover. I did 3 versions of the cover. The first one was shit, but I dedicated myself to absolutely researching everything about what made a professional cover professional, what the industry standards were, started applying that to my already pretty good artwork, right? So I needed to kind of master typography and maybe a little more skills in color theory and evoking certain moods, because I wanted to definitely make sure that what the illustration was showing was what was in my book, and it was immediately eye-catching, all that kind of stuff. So I did that, and then I taught myself a little bit of InDesign. I can format my book perfectly fine. I can't do the editing. Anyway, so now we're in phase 2. I start consuming everything I can, learning everything I can about story building, world building, character building, how to formulate plot structure, what good pacing looks like in a story, how you should do the first opening page. Oh my God, I wish I knew all of this stuff before I started writing, because I looked back at my draft and suddenly I can't use hardly any of it. It's very sweet and it's very nostalgic, but there's so many places in it where I really just needed to look at it and kill my darlings. Like, I don't know if you guys know that saying, but you're supposed to, yeah, anyway. So I wish I would have done a little more research before just immediately jumping into the outline, because if you're also an outline girly like me, and you do the whole first outline, that's basically your book, and you really don't stray too much from that. And if it's not all connected like how it's supposed to be, you don't really have much going on there. You have the story, but maybe it's not at its best. So that is, my learning of it. And draft 2 gets 8 chapters and about 13,000 words. Then let me at least give you the goods, all right? So what we've all been waiting for. I get back into the editing, looking for people in the community. I join a bunch of Facebook groups, and lo and behold, this idea occurs to me. So here's the prompt, okay? So I have this trade skill. I am looking for this kind of editing, developmental, plot, whatever line. I will trade my trade skill for the editing skill. Let me know if you guys want to barter. And I did. I got the actual, someone to agree. It was so exciting. Now I'm in my 3rd draft of my book. We are 15,000 words in, 10 chapters. And yeah, it's going really well. And I can't wait to bring you guys the rest of the way. And please go ahead and give me a follow if you're interested. I'll see you later. Bye.